Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I'm the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and digitally pictured on your screen is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey everybody.
And we are back with Going Back to School Wisconsin Badgers 2024-2025 season, back to basics. Jeff, last season was an utter disappointment. Is that a good way to put it?
Well, I mean, it was good from the perspective of we had a pretty good, you know, regular season, 27-7-1. Finished second to Michigan in the Big Ten, which is nothing to be ashamed of because they've got a ridiculously good team. But just trying to get the league history here, and then won the. We actually beat them in the conference tournament. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Then this happened in the first round of the national tournament. Ferris State beat us 3-2, and that was the end of the season. And Ferris State actually made it to the Frozen Four after they beat us, but still, we were definitely the strong favorites there, and we wound up losing it. So, that's what it comes down to. It's all one game, and you don't show up for that one, and that's the end of the year for us. So all we could do is roll around to the next season. Lost a few of our graduating seniors, got a few new guys. So let's just go through and the summary of what happened in the off season. I simmed through most of that and got us up to the start of the preseason. We had a few arriving freshmen, a pretty good class. The best part of it, Macklin Celebrini, we were lucky to get. He switched his commitment. I can't remember who he was verbally committed to, but wound up going to us instead. And Gosick, and I think that's how it's pronounced, and Skahan was he? No, he wasn't redshirted last year. He's new as well. So we've got a couple of guys who will be, about three guys who will be contributing right away. There would be a fourth guy. He would be our starting goalie, but Rastislav Elias, who didn't check, who'd been playing in the USHL, and was supposed to be our star goalie recruit, apparently is academically ineligible. So he screwed
Oops.
up. He didn't keep his grades up, and now we've had to redshirt him for this year. And hopefully he gets that together, and we've got a goalie next season. So we had one other defenseman. Who's the defenseman who redshirted last year? I've got to look it up in the.
Chap, chap.
There
No.
we go, Ramsey. Sean Ramsey, who was academically ineligible last year and redshirted, apparently still wasn't good enough to didn't get his act together and was academically ineligible again. We can't redshirt him again, so he is gone.
Hi, Max, in the chat. We are currently streaming live, by the way, on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, twitch.tv/OOTP developments, as well as on our Steam page right now. So if you hear us talking to somebody in a chat, it's probably in the other one if you're wondering if we're crazy or not.
The good thing, well, not entirely good, but for the most part, we didn't lose anybody in the off season except for one guy. But the key guys, Kuhlmans, Stramel, and a couple of the others would potentially be signed, uh, didn't sign, stayed with us. The one guy we did lose, and it is. Can't find the email, but in the transaction log, Quinn Finley, who was a freshman last year and played pretty well for his first season, was also a Kings draft pick. Was he last year? No, he was. That was a couple of years ago. Oh no, wait. They okay. Yeah, no, he was an Islanders draft pick, and then the Kings traded for his rights, and he signed with them. So he would have been probably Now, Celebrini would have pushed him down, but he would have been a second or third line center this year and probably would have eventually been pretty good for us, but we'll never know now because he's gone on to the NHL, or at least he's going to be playing in the AHL this season. So that's our one big disappointment. The other thing is we still got to deal with Michigan, and there's their lineup and their
Pretty,
transaction
pretty
log here.
good.
They lost McGroarty. Actually, no. Oh wait, I hadn't looked at this since earlier in the season. They lost more than I thought. The Fantilli wound up going to Buffalo. So they've still got Luke Hughes, but they've actually thinned out quite a bit from the last time I looked at them. They're actually kind of weak on the bottom end. Well, that's much better, and the goaltending isn't great. So they looked a little. I looked at them, I think, on July 1st, and they look kind of scary, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, they only have one goalie playing for them right now, looking at their team.
Yeah, they'll probably bring somebody in as a walk on if they. Yeah, they'll do that when as soon as they start playing games. And speaking of walk-ons, you see, I added the walk-on goalie just so we've got a third stringer if we need one. And real guys looks like he was like a third string goalie in the NAHL for a couple of years. So I don't know how good he'd be if we have to use him. Garrity, who's hasn't played for us at all since we got him. 2 games in his freshman year, and he's a senior now. So we'll use him as a backup this year, but I really hope Elias manages to get his eligibility back next year. Otherwise, I think
I'm
we'll probably need to recruit a goalie.
I'm just trying to think here. Uh, Luke Hughes is showing an international duty.
Yeah, it's
What what would he be doing in 2024?
World Cup.
September, September of 2024's World Cup. Okay.
Probably the. Yep, he's playing on the North American team, the under 21.
Oh, right, right,
Yep,
right.
yep.
That makes sense. Trying to think what,
Is he the
but even if they,
only? I don't know. They got a couple of non-NHL guys on that team. The other thing, what was I going to say? Oh, we did, and for the goalies, one bit of good news. Breveris, who was our backup last year and is going to be starting this year, wound up leading Latvia to the Olympic qualification. Had a pretty good qualification round tournament. I think I can show you that final round, and they went undefeated. And he was a starter for all 3 games. So Latvia qualifies for the Olympics, thanks to him. Other than that, I think that's pretty much the lineup changes. I'll just show you. I already showed you the freshman down at the bottom. Couple of good forwards. I don't think. Oh no, Skahan's a good recruit for. Should get regular time on D. And the graduating seniors this year. Clunes has definitely gone after this year. Latch, who hasn't done that much for us. Garrity, not a big deal. Brown, who might have a good season this year because he's moved up on the depth chart quite a bit. And Malmquist, who is basically a fourth liner. So lose one key guy this year, but I'm worried we're going to lose a couple of the others as free agent as signings in the off season. But I think we're in reasonably good shape as far as the future goes. The NHL draft. Let me show you what happened to us there.
yes.
And you can see we had 3 guys selected. Gosick and Skahan were both late rounders, 7th round guys. But Celebrini, 8th overall. And unfortunately, the Flyers didn't sign him, so we're going to. I don't know how long we're going to get to keep him because he's obviously going to make a lot of money. They'll get the rookie minimum, but he's probably getting close to NHL caliber already. So we'll get as much as we can out of him this year and then hope for the best. Maybe he stays for a second year. I think a third is probably going to be out of the question.
You never know.
Eh, well, if we're lucky. And okay, I'm just looking at the dress list here. Swap latch out for scan. And other than that, I think the dress is pretty good. No, definitely want Celebrini in the first line, and Brown is set as an up and down winger when he's actually a center. Let's switch that. And the rest of the roles look pretty reasonable, I think. Yeah,
I
pretty
don't think
much.
they look bad. Our third pairing defense looks questionable, but we have like nobody to defend. Or they look like all offensive defensemen.
Do we? Maybe I should switch roles on somebody like. Oh, Scan's a new guy. Maybe he should be more of a two-way. Yeah,
I was looking.
he's
Yeah,
actually better at
basically.
two-way, so we'll put him there. There we go. Good catch. And tactics, let's just make sure everything we're doing works. That one looks fine. I'm just checking how many good fits we've got. As long as everything is still looking pretty good, I'm not going to change it. Don't see any problems there. Nope, everything seems pretty much. I think we can go with that. I backed off the pressure for some reason. Can't remember why I originally did that, but I'm going to change that up. Just, and I think we're ready to play. Starting the exhibition season against North Dakota. Oh, who's missing a number? Oh, the walk-on. Okay, you can have 30.
P-Walk has shown up and says, "Welcome to Toronto," and I'm officially revoking his Red Wings membership, just so we know. So he's no
And we
longer a
wound
Red
up
Wings
losing to
fan.
North Dakota in our first exhibition game.
What could make him not? What would be the best non-Red Wings thing for him? I'm thinking a Canadians fan.
Avalanche.
Oh yeah, you're right. Avalanche. Ewag is now an Avalanche
Is
fan.
that still going? It's been a while.
Oh, it's always going. I think we're good with that.
Okay, and as we said before, when we're doing the college games, there's a little bit of a longer break between games than there is in most leagues. So we've got a little bit of time to fill here. Should mention it. This is a beta version of the next upcoming update, which is, I think, very close to being complete. So if you see anything weird, that's why. But I think this version is pretty good. Although I haven't tested it completely. There was a couple of new changes this afternoon that I haven't seen yet, but shouldn't be anything that affects us. And World Cup is going to be Canada and Finland and Sweden and Czech Republic in the two semifinal games. And great season ticket numbers, 11,000 plus sold.
What else is there to do?
So there's not a lot to do in Madison.
No, no, it's exactly it. Wisconsin, there's nothing. I mean, you got the Bucks and well, the Bucks in the winterish time, and then you got the Packers in the fall, and a little bit of winter, and then you got the Brewers in the summer.
It's all Milwaukee though.
I know, but it's not like anything's that far away from each other in Wisconsin.
Okay, oh great. We got an exhibition game against a team that knocked us off out of the playoffs. Fair
Although
State.
I got to look this up right now
I'm gonna put the backup
because
in
now
for this one.
there's an independent baseball team that plays against the Winnipeg Goldeyes, and that's they're called Milwaukee, but they're not in Milwaukee. They're from just outside.
Yeah. And we get some revenge here. 9-1 blowout win over Ferris State.
No, Jeff, you have to understand the name of the team, though. I want to make sure I get this right. Yes. The name of the team is the Milwaukee Milkmen.
Yeah. Wisconsin known for its
And
dairy. That sort of makes sense.
uh okay, no, that came back. All right. Team suddenly like kind of died or disappeared, but it's back now, so
Okay, just I should take a look at our exhibition schedules. This last one. No, we got two more. Cornell. Rivera's can go back in for the start on that one. And Cornell beats us 2-1. Slightly alarmed that we've lost a couple, but we did have that big win against Ferris State. But I still think we're in relatively good shape. I looked through the other teams in the Big Ten. A couple of okay recruiting classes. Michigan was pretty good.
uh
Was it Notre
Pewug is
Dame had a pretty
asking
mediocre one?
Pewug is asking to check how Lake Superior State is.
Lakers, they are. And not so great. One 3-star guy. Doesn't look like he got much in the way of forwards at all. Really questionable goaltending. In fact, oh wow, look at the goalies. One guy who played one game, one college game, career college game last year. Uh, One guy, that must be, well, yeah. Oh no, wow, how did this guy get redshirted? How does he get a partial scholarship out of him? That's terrible. Failed NAHL goalie and some kid out of high school. That is not going to be a good season. We're going to keep an eye on them and see how badly they do. I don't think that's going to be pretty.
You never know.
And closing it out with a shutout win over Penn State. And we should be into the regular season now, which will be games pretty much every Friday, Saturday. So yeah, like I was saying, we got assuming everything goes well with this test build. I think it's most likely Friday. We'll be putting it up as putting the update up as a beta version on Steam only, because that's the only place we can do a beta. It's not possible to do it with the Fast Spring version. And then we'll leave that up at least over the weekend, maybe a couple more days, and just if there's any issues people spot with it, we'll work those out and do the full release sometime next week.
Exciting times.
Okay.
Jeff, is there anything you want to talk about in the upcoming update
Yeah,
right now?
we'll do that when we're waiting between games. And we're apparently the favorites to win the championship this year.
Nothing like being the giant disappointment, huh?
Yeah, and Coolemans is they're saying he's one of the best defensemen in the league, but Hughes is clearly number one. 5 stars. I think he won the Hobie Baker last year too, didn't he? See, runs.
Don't.
Yeah, defending Hobie Baker champion came back for another season, so that's gonna be good. Don't want to play against that. And Celebrini is up to 4.5 stars. I think he was only at 4 before, and pretty good development across the board. Although I did forget to go into the training screen and set that before camp started, so better do that now. And I'm going to focus on the guys who have big difference between potential and ability. Trammell, there's. Well, I know he's got. It's a little hard to see because we're in college, but he's got more upside than that. So that's fine to leave that the way it is. And one more on mental training, I think. Scan the freshman. That makes sense.
Kim is chilling or shut up. Hi, Kim.
Okay, and whoops, spread that a little too thin.
Oh, wow, got Celebrini, she says.
Yeah, well, we've got him for a while at least. We'll see if that lasts more than one season or so.
Well, the good news is you have a chance at an all new recruiting class in not too long.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of recruiting classes, let's. Easiest way of doing this is looking at the unsigned list, which tells you the guys who've committed to us. And as you can see, Hartman will be the big one. Well, they've verbally committed to us, so we still haven't signed him yet. And we do have, Cam is, looks like he's playing for West Kelowna in the BCHL this year, so he should move forward a little bit. And they're 17 now, so they should be with us next season. Drops off a bit after that. The other guys are farther out. But yeah, we definitely got to get the deal done on Hartman and Cam. So that'll come up on November the 10th, so about a month and a bit away.
It'll be a pretty big disappointment if you don't.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, you can get guys stolen from you if you
Yeah. So, Jeff,
actually
there's
did
a
with.
question
Yeah, go ahead.
did get asked before. Is there a way to tell if your school is gaining more prestige or your program is gaining more prestige?
Not. Well, I mean, you can literally look at it. On a team, well, on a team data screen, all you're going to see is the academic reputation. Which did we change that? No, that doesn't change. Uh, Not really a way a direct measure of prestige. You can look at the team history and see how well it's doing there, but it's not really something I want to. It's hard. It would be hard to quantify and kind of awkward. That would do some things game wise that I'm not sure I would want to do. And Minnesota looks like they won both games of their opener against Ohio State, and we should be up to ours shortly.
Yeah, I didn't know if there would be some way of because I didn't think there was, but I was just curious. There'd be some way of like almost like the fan happiness type thing, but almost for players, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, no, not at the moment. And Canada wins the World Cup with beating Sweden 2 games straight in the best of three.
All right. PWOG, the game does have multiplayer.
And Stamkos is the MVP. And the best goalie is Thatcher Demko. Yeah, that'd be nice. Bear in mind that we started this at the start of the season, so Demko is probably rated a little more highly than he will be in the next update.
Do you think he actually asked for a trade or no, despite saying?
He's denying it now, so I guess you got to believe him.
That's why I'm asking. What you believe. So yeah, multiplayer PWOG is done peer to peer and through file sharing.
No, not really peer to peer, just file
Well,
sharing.
yeah, peer to peer because you have to send the files to them, but only in that sense. And you have a commissioner running in the league.
And once we get to the game site, we'll show you one thing. I don't think I'll play a whole game out, but I can show you one of the new things we're adding in the update. And we'll eventually get to our first game. How much of a break do we have here between the... Oh, that's right. This is still using the... Oh, there we go. It's tomorrow. It's using the original version of the college schedule, which is a little bit off. So we're going to be stuck with that in this game. But we should be playing in a second. Okay, opening the season against Minnesota. And we'll just go with the same lineup. And I want to play this one. But you can see right there that we've added some new stuff to the game, the in-game display, which is tracking various things, the possession in each zone, number of hits. Well, that's what you already had the hits, giveaways, etc. information, but we made it a little more presentable. And the shot quality is 4 is the best, and down to 0, and number of shots and attempts, power play chances, and goals. So that's all tracked in game now, and it's also added that to the stats screen, so you can see it for each period here. It'll show if I'm not going to actually show the game, but yeah, I've got it set to no highlights, so I should just go period to period, but you can see it updating. And we're just setting it in the background here. And we're down 1-0 after the first period. Puck possession, looks like we had the puck most of the time. Wondering, yeah, we should probably add a total for that. It's a little... Otherwise, you got to do the mental math to see how much it adds up to be. 2-1 at the end is the second, and we're still dominating on possession, but even on shots. Although we're getting a little better shot quality. Down 3-2 late in the third, and probably into the empty net 4-2. So not great. With the stats screen. Didn't really get dominated. We had more puck possession than they did. Just not a good result, and I'm hoping that's not going to be a goaltender problem. Just looking at the post-game stuff. Anything standing out? Okay, Malmquist and Brown, maybe got to take a look at their roles. And Lucius and Jugnoth were kind of active, but not a good way to start the season. Wait, who did I say? Malmquist and Brown. Malmquist we've got as a setup man. He's a little bit better as a two-way guy, so... Thomas counter-attacking, and Brown... No, I'm going to leave him there. That's where I want him. He can figure it out. So not a great start. Lose the...
That's the best coach line. He can figure it out.
He's a college student. He should be reasonably bright.
Are you talking about your goalie? Points again?
Yeah. I think I'm going to probably give Rivera's just about all the starts. So one of the things we've done for the update, I think people will be Happy to hear this. Let me just get this done. Fitness looks reasonable. So we'll just sim this one, see if we do any better. And we do come up with an overtime win, and Celebrini is the first star. Did you get the winner in overtime? Yes, he did. 1 minute in. But we lost one defenseman, Horbach. Intercostal strain 2 to 3 weeks, so he's going to be gone for a little bit, and we will move Latch into his spot. But continuing, I'm going to say we've made some changes to the way goalie starts are determined, and I think it'll be a little better now at not putting the backup in for the majority of the games, which would happen occasionally with the old system. Actually, I'm just testing that this morning. Broke it on the first attempt, and the starter was playing almost all the games, but got that fixed now.
Well, I mean, that's sounds right for depending on what goalie you are, or what team you are.
And what year it is. Now, for modern games, that shouldn't be happening.
I mean, Hellebuck's playing like 68.
Yeah,
Probably be by the end of the year.
occasionally
I
getting over
remember
70, but no, what was happening
doing
in
a
the
hockey
test, though,
pool
it
with,
was like guys were playing literally 80 plus games.
well, again, I remember back doing a hockey pool not 20 years ago, not 20 years ago, but getting close. And Martin Brodeur played 80 games that year.
Did you
He
play
played
80?
2 games.
I
Yes,
thought,
he did not play in two games. Uh,
and we're
that
not even
was
mentioned in the first bowl.
who was his backup? Scott something that
Scott
year.
Wedgwood.
Got what? That could be right. I remember that because I had Brodeur and we had him for win. I got points for wins and points for shutouts.
Oh, nice.
So I drafted him in the first round, and everyone's like, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Because you guys created these stupid rules. He's going to be the best player." He had so many points. Let's see here.
You sure it was 80? I thought it was like 78. I don't think we made it quite to 80.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, yeah, 78 in 06, 07, and 75 in 03, 04. I thought he got to 78, but I guess I'm wrong.
Got to 80, you mean?
Yeah.
And we got Denver for a second week. And good
Is it
6-2 win,
06,
celebrating the first
07?
star again.
Yeah, 06, 07. So 48 wins and 12 shutouts. And the stupid rules these guys had in this draft was every win was 2 points, and every shutout was worth six. So Brodeur had 156 points for me that year.
Yeah, that's not great planning.
No, I'm
Uh,
just like, why would you not? Like, as soon as I said that, I'm like, this is okay. Yeah, I will gladly take him.
okay, well,
I
we
think
got a
that was a year.
problem here. The got a couple of injuries. One is just 1 to 2 weeks, so we'll substitute in Roman Zapp, which is a great name for Whitelaw.
Zap, 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 zap.
The bigger problem
Uh,
is Erdal, who was supposed to play a fairly big role for us this year. I think we had him on the second line, tore his UCL, and he's gone indefinitely. So you can probably
probably
take
the year.
that to mean he's gone for the season.
It looks like our Steam stream died, Jeff.
Hang on, I'll restart it. Just let me see if I want to do Novak or no, we'll go with the freshman Epperson. Get him some playing time. And hang on, let me just kill the Steam stream. And it'll take 10 seconds for that to clear out, so I'll restart it in a moment.
Jeff, while you're doing that, here's a question that I'm sure somebody will ask.
Yeah.
You talked about doing an open beta. Will the rosters be updated for the open beta?
Yeah, the playable, I did we've been updating rosters all along, but the playable league, I did a full yeah, Elite Prospects data import as of Sunday night slash Monday morning ish. So they will be updated for that.
Well, you say I know you know that, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
And that means that we'll probably have at least one more coming with the trade deadline.
Well, definitely. Yeah, that'll be the
Quickly,
last
quickly
update with
approaching.
that'll be sometime post trade deadline. We'll have the updated rosters, and I just kicked Steam on again, so that should show up in about 10 seconds.
I will keep my eye out.
Okay, game two, and I'm gonna throw Garrity the backup in for one game. Let's see how he
Frank,
does.
Frank Garrity, the
It'd be
artist.
Ben Garrity, and 4-1 win, not bad. And Mellenbacher, who we wound up getting elevated to the first line because of the injury, gets 4 points. And is actually leading the NCAA in scoring right now. Or at least tied with it. So 2 wins that weekend and kind of fixed the start after losing the opener to Minnesota. And they've lost a couple of games too, so that's good news. And we should
Excellent.
show up in the poll this week, I think.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Check Lake Superior State for Pewaukee in a second when we get down to the next game.
You say for PWOG, but you and I both know you want to see for yourself how good or bad they're doing. And actually, for that matter, check Michigan. I want to see who they got for a backup goaltender.
Oh, yeah. They've lost a couple of games, so I don't know they got goaltending issues or just the bottom end of the roster being as thin as it was. It looked like they had 4 or 5 guys signed professionally in the off season. When I checked it on July 1st, nothing, but I think that was too early. The signings hadn't happened yet. Or no, I looked right after the draft.
PWOG
That's
has
right.
PWOG has asked your take on Red Wings recalling Jacob Verana from the Grand Rapids Griffins.
Had he been playing? I hadn't seen for the last couple of games. Was he doing any better than he was when he was first sent down? Because that was not good at all.
Yeah, PWOG. Honestly, I haven't kept too much track of it.
Lake Superior
I
1-2 to
if
start the
he's
season.
if he's starting to get into rhythm, all for it. Hopefully, he can keep good habits going. That's the big thing, especially with somebody overcoming an addiction.
Okay,
Hopefully, he found
and
some game in
the
the AHL.
backup in Michigan, who's
Who?
they've actually had to dress for a couple of games this year, is another North American League guy, half star
Not looking
potential.
great.
So
You think for trade value?
yeah,
I I don't know who's going to want him.
yeah, he's almost a throw-in at this point. In Colorado College
Like,
this week.
yeah, I don't know who would want Veranda. Like, I mean, he's
Uh,
eaten. Is it a $4 million cap hit anyways? So even if Detroit wanted to get rid of him, they're gonna have to eat at least 50%. I mean, he wouldn't be the worst pickup if you could believe it, but I mean, you get guys who have those issues and they kind of need
you'd
to stay in one place.
you'd have to be really desperate for scoring, I think, to pick him up for a playoff run.
8 points in games, Kim says.
Okay, so he picked it up.
Or points in 6 straight games.
Yeah. Okay,
Hope he's
so
back to form. Well, I wish him nothing but the best. I said, like, admitting you got a problem and going through it is always a good thing. And trying to work your way through it. But it's tough with some of that stuff because it's so unpredictable, too.
another win against Colorado College, 4-1.
And I mean, Jeff, I'll say this, and you know too. Like there was a particular hockey player whose name I'm not going to say in the late '90s, early 2000s, who was dealing with substance abuse for a reason, and like him, he constantly kind of bounced around, and that didn't really work out for him. And it's, I still think it's affecting him some today, even though he claims he's clean and whatnot. But all that stuff does.
Okay, did we not get a poll last time? Last I missed the poll. No, that was 2 weeks ago. Should be one on the 14th. Oh, there it is. Okay, we were 11th in the last poll, and oh no, there should be another one there. No, it'll be 21st tomorrow. But second in the Big Ten, and only one loss so far, so looking pretty good this season.
There's hope.
Michigan
There's hope.
State continuing to struggle, 1-5. And Celebrini's actually in the top 10 in college point scorers already.
You know, there was a fascinating article on The Athletic about Harvard actually turning into what they say, a powerhouse program for NHLers.
And kind of impressive considering they don't give out scholarships.
Well,
And we're
that's what they
fifth in the
talked about
country.
in there. And they said, like they had a lot of guys, even like
Oh, go ahead.
was it Cal McCarr was supposed to go there, but canceled when the COVID year happened and they got their league canceled. He switched. Was it him or
Can't
somebody
remember.
like that? No,
Uh,
it was Matty Beniers, I think. Matty
Surprisingly,
Beniers.
the top team in college hockey right now, 8-0 start, the Lindenwood Lions, who have barely had a Division One program for what about three? Got to look in their history. Fourth season now.
Nice.
Or no, that's actually in third season. I don't think they were. I can't remember.
Well, see, the one thing you
It
can
doesn't look
kind of
like a
quickly
great
build a
team.
program
Well, they got depth,
with
but
hockey,
not a lot of really high end talent.
but they got guys who probably committed there for years too. Is that a 27-year-old on that team? Holy cow!
Yeah,
That's an old player. Kim is chill and says, I wonder
old
if it's an
school.
athletic department wide strategy. Their women's soccer team has recently started attracting world class players. I mean, the allure of Harvard itself
Yeah, I
is
mean, even without the athletic scholarships, if you're you're going to Harvard, they've got a ridiculous amount of funding available. So that's actually the way. If you look in the game here, where's
this is actually a question that came up in the Discord. If you're doing what I think you're doing,
or I could just look in alphabetical order because that would be easier. But you can see the tuition cost here is only set to average. The reason that is when I set the tuition cost, I took into account the amount of non-scholarship funding that's available. So if you're going
which
to,
how much scholarship funds do they get?
what do you mean?
Harvard.
Harvard doesn't have scholarships.
Well,
No,
exactly.
like
That was my point. This
athletic
was a question
scholarships.
this is what a point that came up in our Discord or in our Discord channel was what it wasn't Harvard, but it was another Ivy League team, and someone else pointed out, well, none of the Ivy Leagues give out sports scholarships.
Yeah, so they don't have any scholarships available. You can see the scholarship limit is set to 0-0. But obviously, elite academic reputation, which is going to be attractive to the players, and the tuition cost is modest once you take into account the fact that you can get non-athletic scholarships, et cetera, et cetera.
Overkill of ASC says, can you have players lie down in the middle of the street like in the movie The Program?
I think that would be covered under the generic off-ice incident thing.
Somebody was really sad that they had was Bobrovsky was got hurt in their game because he was helping or doing some roofing, and I'm like, well, that could easily happen.
And 4-3 win over Notre Dame, and Celebrini is the first star yet again. There is no way that guy is not going to the Flyers next year.
No. Military service academies are also similar. Zero scholarships but can attract top talent.
Yeah, the only problem with those at the moment is I don't have a way I can't really exclude non everybody except one nationality from a specific team. I'd like to do that for the Air Force and Army teams in college.
Get there eventually.
And if we ever add the Canadian universities for RMC. And
Royal
Gary's
Military
doing reasonably
College.
well in the games I played him against, so let's try him against Notre Dame, and we just get out of it with a 3-2 overtime win.
Kim Michaud say, "Yeah, I won a national title with Army, but it was cheesy because I had several Canadians." I don't think Canadians are excluded actually from going there.
No, there's West Point does let in. I think they do have a few international students, but I don't think they've ever had one of them on the hockey team, have they? Doubt it.
I honestly don't follow college hockey enough, but again, I don't think it's impossible.
But it is. I mean, it's cheesy if you're running the team yourself and
It's
you deliberately
it's
recruit
unlikely.
Canadians. If you're playing as Army or Air Force, you should only be recruiting Americans. Just
Just
like if you're
people
playing with
live to
Minnesota, you should only be
cheat
recruiting
everything as
players
much
from
as they
Minnesota.
can.
And we are first in the Big Ten. Michigan 5-3 only. Bit of a disappointment. I guess they're dealing with all those off-season losses. Not seeing Luke Hughes' name in the leading scorers. I mean, he's a defenseman, but even so, he should be up there. We'll take a quick look after this week and see how he's doing. And the poll has, we actually went down one in the national poll. Lindenwood is up to 10-0.
Do we play them this year?
Highly unlikely. Oh, no, we do. Next month. And I was going to look at. Wrong Hughes. Hughes, 5 points in 8 games, -3. That is not a good start for him. The guy's the best player in the league, arguably. And Keenan Draper, is that Chris Draper's?
I think we looked this up
Yep,
before, and I
Chris
think it
Draper's
was.
son. Yep. And Wingspick, yeah, that's right.
I'd never heard of Lyndon Wood before playing this game.
Yeah, they're new.
Well, Kim, that's like watching the NCAA basketball tournament and going, "Oh, where's that team from? Oh, okay, yeah." I mean, lots of times you recognize team names, but you have no idea where they actually are located.
Okay, development report. All good. No guys suddenly going downhill. And Celebrini is the player of the month. College player of the month. Nice. We're winning, so I don't think I need to spend any more on morale at the moment. And we got Michigan, but now Dexheimer is hurt day to day. But did we get? Wait, we got Horback was out. Erdal still showing indefinitely. Don't know when he's ever coming back, and Whitelaw's healthy again.
You probably won't be ready till next year.
How did Zap do? Zap played 5 games and did nothing.
So what you're saying is we got zapped.
Well, the other team certainly didn't get zapped. Okay, so now that we've been talking trash about Hughes, watch him destroy us in our first game against Michigan.
Probably.
Whoa, 5-1 win for Wisconsin. Celebrini with
Woo.
the hat trick.
Now we got to stop at Quick Trip on our way back.
Well, Hughes had a good game. Well, -1, but he had a 77 defensive game rating, so it doesn't look like this was on him, but pretty much an offensive 0. A couple of shots, and that's it. 22 minutes of ice time didn't do that much with it. And we're up to 8-1, so let's see if we can take the second end of this away from 2, and Celebrini is leading college hockey in scoring. And Mellenbacher was kind of a nice surprise last year, is in the top 10 as well. should be up to the. Oh, we're actually coming. We're not gonna have enough time to do a national signing day. I think. I think about 10 minutes left, and we're not quite at the 10th. Oh, then one little change we made for the for college games. It's refers to athletic director instead of team owner now in the owner update email.
Mm.
Just a little cosmetic thing, but it was weird to see owner in the context of a college team.
Your donors
And a
demand
5-0
answers.
shutout over Michigan.
Because that would also work.
And they are 5-5. Really struggling. That's not good. Gosick, the one of the good freshmen, is now sore back 1 to 2 weeks. Can deal with that. You're 9-1. Now I was going to check if Lindenwood is still undefeated. And Lindenwood is an independent, still undefeated, but somebody managed to take them to beat them in overtime at least, so they're 11-0-1. Who's doing what's going on statistically for these guys? Okay, they got, who's this, Finnegan? Oh, you're a 27-year-old. So he's in playing against, a few teenagers at least, so he's got 18 points in his first 12 games.
Playing a 27-year-old playing against 18-year-old?
Yeah, this is an old team. 27, 24, 23. Oh, there's a 20-year-old. 24. The roster, how does this... Yeah, half the team is over typical college age. So that's how they put the team together so quickly.
Well, I'm just... This is an AHL team, Kim is showing says. Well, just imagine you're an 18-year-old coming out of high school. You're 5'11", 160 pounds, and then across from you is lining up as a guy who's 27.
Yeah, I mean, you ask people to do that in the NHL, but
Yeah,
they're
and
pretty good.
that's why there's not that
18-year-old.
many 18. Yeah, there's not a lot of 18-year-olds who make it anymore.
And National Poll says we're number 3. Harvard, first overall. Lindenwood is down to second with that overtime loss. Anybody else surprising near the top? Oh, Ohio State's doing really well. Michigan is right out of the top 20. Actually tied with Notre Dame, who had a really bad recruiting year. And there, Finnegan, the guy from Lindenwood, is tied for first overall now. So their 27-year-old and our 18-year-old are tied for the scoring lead. And should be up to the game in a second. There we go. And Gosick still has a sore back. So, thought we had a different...
See, P-Walk, that's a fake team name. Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac.
Yeah, see, fake name.
Okay. And against Alaska, 4-3 win, kind of close, but
Kim Aston, they win the national title about 5 years ago.
And
Uh,
Celebrini gets a couple
Honestly,
of points to take over the scoring lead again.
I don't know enough about college. 2016.
And we'll give
Well, I
Gary his
said
second
again,
start against
if
Alaska.
if you look at the title or that name of that place, I said it just doesn't seem like a real place. I couldn't even tell you where it is.
And 5-0 win over Alaska in the second game. So I'll just advance this to tomorrow, and that's I think probably where we'll leave it off because we'll be at the be able to start with the national commitment or national signing day, November 10th, and we can do that at the start of the next stream and see which prospects we wind up getting for the upcoming season.
It is
And Linden,
Connecticut. Okay.
yeah. There we go. National signing day. Let's just take a quick look around the league. Did Lindenwood? No, they didn't lose. I don't think they played this week.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I said like it's fascinating. It's I think it's a pretty good program by all accounts. But I said university names are so confusing in the States for so many reasons. And using ones close to me, you have the University of North Dakota, North Dakota State University, and then Bemidji State, and then you have even some place where it's like specifically named after the city it's in.
Okay, just looking at our
And
team
it's like,
scoring right now. Celebrini way out in front, but Mellenbacher he's actually passed his freshman total already. So
nice.
did he get drafted? Yeah, late round pick by the Wings. Stramel could be producing a little bit more. Lucius is finally putting up some numbers. He's matched his. Oh, look at that. 2023 first season total 3 goals, 7 assists. Last season's total 3 goals, 7 assists. Current season's total 3 goals, 7 assists.
Nice.
Consistent.
It's named after a local Native American tribe. Okay, well that's cool.
And Lucius is
Okay,
the younger
hold
brother
on.
of.
Jeff, I need you to go check something for me. Um,
Mhm.
go check UMass Lowell.
The roster, or
Yes, because I
what
just
am I looking for?
look at their goalies.
Oh wow!
Look at their depth chart.
So they're trying to find a goalie. They just haven't managed to. Okay, they've got a couple of commitments for 16-year-olds, but those guys are so far away.
Well, they had two walk-ons added since you started this game. So when you added apparently the only good walk-on for goaltenders, and everybody else is just in.
Yeah, I think I did that at the right time. They did that
Actually,
before the
okay.
first game of the season.
So
That probably ran through
the
the.
the only goalie they had initially was their lowest one, Edvard Nordland, and he's not
Swedish
even
guy. We actually
playing.
played a few games for him last year and did okay.
Yeah, but he's sitting on the bench now because he's the lowest ranked guy.
But look at the stats they're putting up. Well, goalies goals against average under 2, although the save percentage isn't fantastic. They got a good team in
Well,
front of them though.
I know that depth chart just makes me laugh though.
Quick look at the standings. So we're in first. Ohio State, slightly surprisingly, in second. Minnesota, despite the fast start, is only 6-5-1 now. Michigan 6-6, major disappointment. And then Notre Dame, Michigan State's turned it around a little bit, and Penn State having a disappointing year. Is there something? Nope, everything seems to be fine with Michigan morale-wise. Just not getting the production. Their walk-on goalie's up to 1.5 stars,
Nice.
so they at least found a decent one. Anything else? I'll just open the National Signing Day screen so you can. Where do we get to? Oh, where we started. Nice. So we can either we'll have a decision next time. We've got, here's our committed guys. Oh no, that's not for just this season. That's for upcoming years. Wait, is that ours? That doesn't look right. Oh, is this because we started the? Yeah, that might be because the timing when we started it. I'm not sure that fix worked. Because that's our. Oh no, wait. No, I'm wrong. No, I'm seeing the right guys in there. Okay, that's fine. So Hartman, is he? Wait, is he 17? He'll be 18, 20. Yeah, so he can play next year. Playing in Chilliwack. Oh, that reminds me. Apparently, a rumor that the Winnipeg Ice might be headed to Chilliwack. You hear anything about that, Adam?
Sorry. I got distracted on something and had to step away for a moment. What was up?
The Winnipeg Ice. Apparently, there was a thing in the Winnipeg Sun today that they might be
Oh,
looking at
yeah.
moving.
It's such a smozzle. I have no idea. They said, well, the numbers are down. Well, yeah, they're also, one of three professional hockey teams, and they
Yeah,
haven't
that's
built their new
kind
arena
of a
they're supposed to because,
yeah, that's a
oh, it's
big problem.
COVID. Well, it's not COVID. It's been water rights has been the bigger issue
The
because where they want to build it is not technically in the city of Winnipeg,
oh, just outside
and
of town.
it's inside the perimeter, but it's not inside the city of Winnipeg jurisdiction. So then they've got all sorts of issues on that, and that slowed down stuff. And then there was Winnipeg Sun also reported that they got fined for $500,000, and then both the league and the ice said no, that
Yeah,
didn't
because they didn't
happen.
build the arena.
Arena, yeah. So
But
no
the
one,
Sun article, though, the thing I got a laugh out of was the cities they were talking about them potentially moving to. Chilliwack, okay, that made sense. If they failed in the WHL once, but maybe the league would want to go back. Wenatchee, Wisconsin, or Wenatchee, Wisconsin. Why was Wenatchee, Washington was another one, which is I'm not sure that would work. It's a little on the small side for an American city. And the third one was Estevan. How embarrassing would that be if Winnipeg loses one of their teams to Estevan, Saskatchewan?
well, the Bruins were in the dub at one time, weren't they?
Yeah,
Around
well, and it
them?
was sort of grew out of the Saskatchewan Junior League, and then they went back to.
Yeah, I again, like they said, their numbers are down a bit this year, but it's weird. Everything's weird. The team's really good, but like they've gone basically all in for like these last couple of years, so everyone knows
Yeah,
that it's going to be a wasteland in the next couple of years anyways, so
yeah.
like I don't
They'll
know.
be rebuilding for a while but they don't have the draft picks to rebuild.
Yeah, so it's going to be weird. And
Well,
so
how are we
I
doing
don't
in
know.
this game?
Like the guys are owned by or like who own the team are from Winnipeg, so I don't know why they'd be running to move them.
Oh yeah, they're crashing and burning in this game. They're dead last in the East in the
Oh,
WHL.
they're gonna be awful for the well, that might be the reason why they look at moving. Good memories and now we're gone and I don't
But
know.
okay, I
Again,
guess we should wrap it up there.
I don't believe a lot from the Winnipeg Sun anyway, so
What? One of the
all
Sun
right.
papers being unreliable?
Another time, Jeff, we can talk about that, but
Yeah.
they're reporting on on some of the stuff. Again, they talked about the fine that apparently happened but didn't actually happen. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll see what
So,
happens. If it all shakes out, nothing's going to surprise me. But thank you very much for tuning into another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv slash twitch.tv slash franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv slash OOT developments, and every other week on our Steam page, which some of you are watching right now. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com slash OOTP Developments, with the streams going live at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So they're live in the mornings, nice for our European viewers. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com slash franchise hockey manager. We're on Twitter for now, as long as it still exists, but who knows when that's changing, at franchise hockey. We can find a link to our official Discord in our Twitter bio. And of course, you can find us on Instagram as well. And come on down to our website, which is always a good spot to be, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right hand corner, and you can come visit our official page and forums where you can talk about Francis Hockey Manager, Out of Puck Baseball, Perfect Team Go, and anything else you wish to discuss. And as Jeff mentioned already, we have an update coming out with the beta coming soon for Steam users, so be keeping your eyes open for that. Our
and then the
forums
full
will be the
one,
best spot for that, but I'm sure Jeff will be posting on social media about that as well.
yeah, and the full update will not be too far behind that, but we'll just, if anybody wants to play the beta version of it for a couple of days and help us out and see if they can find any problems we need to fix before the full release, we'd appreciate that. And it turned out we were wrong about Zap.
Yeah.
So I was just looking through the advanced stats, and the whole time he was on the ice in the 5 games he played, we were not scored on once.
So he's good defensively.
Yeah, apparently. So, not a big offensive upside so far, but maybe he's got a future in the checking line. So thanks for coming out, everybody. Next, when we come back to this in a couple of weeks, we'll be on National Signing Day. We've also got be playing Lindenwood, who's the only, I think they're the only undefeated team left in the country. Yep, they are 11-0-1. So we'll see if we can put an end to that. So it should be an interesting game off the start next time, and we'll be back next week with Adam's Columbus Blue Jackets game, providing he doesn't get fired partway through it.
Well, it's easily possible in the first 5 minutes we might get fired.
That would be entertaining. In which case, we'll be figuring out how to start a second game. About 15 minutes into that stream. But
Well,
thanks again, and go ahead.
I was going to say we'll just take over the Minnesota Wild, just go from one expansion team to the other.
Yeah, see if the AI did a little better job building than you did.
We've done a fine job building. It's just whether we get time to actually execute.
True. Okay, thanks everybody, and we will see you next week.